Our next speech is titled The Reflections from the Class of 2015, and this speech will be delivered by a leader in every sense of the word. If something happens in this school, you can be certain that Jonathan is involved. With a GPA of 95.6223, and if you attended any one of our drama or musical productions, you got a glimpse at the tremendous talent that he has. The Dickinson College bound president of our Student Government Association, Jonathan Long.
Hey. When I was asked to give a speech at graduation, I immediately hit a roadblock in the thought process. And for those of you that know me, I'm rarely at a loss for words. But when I was writing this, I thought, how do I give a speech to a group of people who really can care less about what I have to say? How do I stand up here and at a podium and give a speech to a bunch of people who just want to get up here, get their diplomas, take a selfie with Rydell, and call it a day? So I thought, why not a compromise? Instead of standing up here and giving you another history lecture, listing quotes from people who are long since dead, I'll quote those who are alive now, or at least only have one foot in the grave. Which is why I want to start with a quote from our sarcastic history professor and locally rumored prophet, Mr. Sean Peterson. Sesame Street ruined you guys. They put the connection in your head that learning is always fun. No, it's not. That's delusional. So maybe Sesame Street did ruin us. Maybe we went to school with all these grand ideas that we would be having fun all the time and would always be learning meaningful information that would help us prosper in the outside world. Well, that's not the case. High school was work, and we probably won't use geometric proofs ever again. However, I think we gained something more from high school than we realized. We gained a sense of community, developed our own personalities, and were given the ability to think for ourselves, even if it wasn't always on the homework given to us. Take these lessons with you in the future, and try hard to always remember where you learned them and the people who gave them to you along the way. Just like our old friend Peterson and the people sitting around you right now. When adults talk about the real world, they often point a finger at you and say, "You're gonna have to make sacrifices." And they're probably right. We have all given up something to get farther ahead somewhere else, and that's a reality we're going to face our entire lives. So be flexible. We need to give a little to gain a little. But you must remember one thing. Never lose sight of who you are for somebody else. I'm going to quote one of the greatest philosophers and thinkers of our time, Nicki Minaj. When I say, "I'ma do me when it feel right." In other words, it's okay to be flexible. And sometimes you gotta bite your tongue to get that raise or that promotion. But when something goes fundamentally against who you are, do yourself a favor and walk away. Dream big, but never think small. We can't have it both ways. Remember all those times in elementary school when we created rhymes that bashed Barney the dinosaur, as if it were cool to hate on a fun-loving daytime kid show character? Well, in honor of the purple reptile we love to hate, I'd like to quote him and saying, "The dreams you see most clearly are the most likely to come true." What he's saying is that we can't get to the light at the end of the tunnel if we have no way of making sure we don't get lost as we walk toward it. Simply put, don't forget to make a plan before going into something, and don't think you are too prideful to ask for help along the way. Value diversity and be kind. We may look different, speak differently, and do different things, but we all want to move forward, and there's no reason that we need to push everybody else back as we go that way. Look at it this way. We have people here who trained endlessly as varsity athletes. Those who practiced for countless hours to play an instrument or to sing. Those who gave up half their day to pursue a career at BOCES. Those who spent time in the art room hating a beautiful piece of work because it wasn't quite right. Those who devoted themselves to the many clubs that Wallkill has to offer. And of course, those that did pretty much all of those. However, there is one thing that they all have in common. They're all sitting here in the same chairs, facing the same stage, waiting to get the same diploma. We are not all that different, as much as we appear to be, or as much as we like to others to think we are. Celebrate what makes you different, but don't think it makes you better. One thing we must always remember is to live in the moment. Right now, many of you are thinking about the diploma you are going to get, or maybe the parties you're going to, or the friends you're going to have to say goodbye to. But why not live in the now? Take every second of this ceremony in, because you're never going to graduate with a group of people you've known for this long ever again. You only get to do this once, and you only get to live once. So cherish and enjoy every moment you have. Finally, always remember to reward yourself every once in a while. When this is all over, maybe post that selfie of you and Rydell on Instagram. And you know what? Give yourself a like. Why not? Nobody will judge you. Actually, people probably will. But as Taylor Swift told us over and over and over again, those haters gonna hate, 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 hate. But you know what the best part about all of this is? You never have to see those haters ever again. Thank you and congratulations to the class.
So as Jonathan makes his way back to his seat, the speakers, they give me a copy of their speech just as an insurance policy, and in case they forget it, and they don't want to come up with nothing. So I always have a backup. They are high school students and all, so we have to have these things in place. Not anymore. It's just a little while longer. So, but when I read Jonathan's speech this afternoon, it didn't take the same flair as what I just heard. You're a very powerful speaker, Mr. Long. And I am embarrassed to admit that I know that Taylor Swift song. I actually have it on a playlist.